Welcome back, everybody, to 3 Point Lines here on the Parlay. I'm your host, Luca Rosano, alongside my co-host, Noor, Zainab. We're back. Hopefully, we can pick some winners because yesterday I got my butt kicked. I don't even want to say what my winning percentage is because it's very bad. This reminds me of like my those tests I used to get back in school that I just barely passed and I didn't want to show my parents. That's basically my percentage line right now. I'm 51% getting my picks right, 22 and 43 overall. Yesterday, I think I honestly managed to only get 4 right out of 13, and I'm embarrassed to say that on air.
That's not bad. You know what? You know when you were in school and the teacher's like giving back papers that she graded, and then she gives it back to you with the paper overturned so no one else sees it? That's how I feel after last night and overall altogether. It was a 13 game night. And the craziest part is the ones that I had that I thought were gonna be the hot picks, Warrior, well, who was it? Houston versus I
The
forget
Jazz.
the Jazz. Yeah, I
Yeah,
was like, they might be, they might come around and they did. But the
yeah.
easy ones that I picked, no, there's no easy winnings in the NBA anymore. I think I'm at like I got 6 right out of 13, so less than 50%. And overall, I'm at 55%. So
You're beating
great.
me. That's good enough to beat me. Listen, I gotta pick up my slack. Yeah, we both were on the Lakers, I think. And yeah, that was embarrassing. I gotta stop taking teams to cover. I feel like the underdog cashed in a lot
Yeah.
yesterday. And I'm glad I ended up taking the Hornets because I was ready to take the Celtics. That would have been another game I got wrong. But yeah, I saw that a lot last night. The underdog came through, especially in those later matchups.
Which is that's the whole I think the narrative of the entire season this year where you just don't know what's going to happen. You can see two teams going at each other and you don't really know who's really going to come out on top. They all seem to have their own mind, their own style of play every single night, and then we look dumb the next day. So whatever. We'll get
Yeah.
started though. The
Yeah, we
first
only got
game.
3 games to get to. Hopefully, we both go 3-0, depending on if we have the same pick. So, start us off, Noor. Who do you like here? We got the Pelicans and Knicks. The Knicks are 4-point favorites.
Yeah, so the Pelicans are a team right now that I think started off not great, like pretty abysmal, and they've now really kind of turned their season around. And I've always been a JV Hive. I was a JV Hive when he was with the Raptors, and seeing him really thrive and come into his own and really be that same player that we had seen him while he was with the Raptors, but just blossom into this leader and this really great center for this team that really needs him, this young team. It's been amazing to see. Then pair him with Brendan Ingram and put them around these young guys that need, guys to look up to. This is a fun team. I don't know if they have enough time left to really make a good playoff push. They are at the 500 mark right now, which is pretty great for how they turn everything around so far. And then going up against the Knicks that are just all over the place. They had two home games the past week against the Hornets and against the Wolves, lost both of them at MSG. And I almost feel like this Knicks team is they kind of rely on one guy to come through. It's not really a collective basketball game. It's not a collective movement that's happening. It's just okay, well, who wants to have a good night tonight? Which one of us wants to have a good night and make us win? And that's just not going to get you wins overall anywhere. I do think against the Pelicans and the fact that the Knicks are still at home for this one and they've lost two at home, like this is money turning around. This is if you lose this one, that's embarrassing. So I think the pressure is on here, and that's why I kind of think they could win this. But I don't know. I could be wrong once again because again, you just never know. What do you think, Luca?
So, you're laying with the Knicks. That's what you're
I'm
saying?
going with the
Yeah.
Knicks.
Okay. Yeah, I was going on that side, but you said it. The last 2 games at home, they haven't come through. I feel like the Knicks are better suited when they're an underdog or playing on the road, and that's a good point you brought up. It's like they rely on one of their star players to come through, and if Randall has a bad night or RJ Barrett, this team suffers. So I'm actually gonna go with the Pelicans. Like you said, they've been playing really well lately. I really like JV. I like BI, huge fan of him. I think they can make this one interesting. I see this being a close game resembling that game they had against the Timberwolves where the spread was
Mhm.
I think it was 3, and yeah, they couldn't even cover that. The Knicks could. So I like the Pelicans here. I think this is going to be a nail biter, and the Pelicans are an interesting team. I feel like I overhype this team every single year just because on paper you look at some of the names they have, and then obviously they have the big superstar name of Zion, but he hasn't been able to play. He's been left off the court. But this is a good Pelicans team. They just got to stay healthy. They just got to string together some wins and go on a run. So yeah, I'm pulling for them here. I want to see the Knicks lose, and like the Celtics last night, I just don't trust a Knicks team whenever they are favorites at home. So I think this is a letdown spot for them. So I do like the Pelicans to potentially win this game. I will take the 4.
I think we're going the opposite way here, where you're like, you know what, they lost to at home. What's another third? And I'm like, no, they gotta turn it around at this point. But one of us has to be right, right? And now to the game of the night, in my opinion, Suns versus Mavericks, where the Suns are favored by -2. What do you think happens here on a back-to-back for the Mavs?
Yeah, this is an interesting one. The Mavs incredible. 10-1 in their last 11. They've been a very, very hot bet. But I think playing in the second night of a back to back, where Luca had to do basically everything to single handedly beat the Raptors, he wasn't getting much help from his supporting cast. I mean, Porzingis did chime in a little bit, so did Hardaway Jr., but it was basically the Luca show. He literally had to put the team on his back. So, how is his fatigue going to be in this one? Remember, he's 2 weeks removed from coming back from missing a bunch of time. So, I'm going to go with the Suns here. I'm going to pay the price of 3. The Suns, they have been a pretty safe bet against the spread, especially on the road. Booker went off last game. This team is coming together. They're generally healthy, and I just don't like this spot for the Mavs. I think this is going to be a very good game, but I think the Suns will prevail. I think Luka's going to be a little fatigued in this one, and I just don't trust that supporting cast. I mean, this Mavericks team is so hit or miss. One night they look amazing and they beat the Grizzlies, snapping their win streak. And then the next night they can barely beat a Raptors team that's playing their starters 40 plus minutes. So we don't know which version of the Mavs we're going to get. They are a really good home team. They are coming in hot. But Phoenix, they have been a steady team all season long. One of the best teams in all the NBA. I'm going to pay him some respect here. I'll pay 3 on the road. Give me the Suns.
I know, I completely agree. I think I selfishly I kind of want Luca on a different team because I'm just like he's such a good player, and I think this is great for his development to be around a team where he gets to really experience everything from shooting to passing to just figuring everything out for himself in his game. But you kind of want him to be with people that are going to get the best basketball out of him, not just on the court, but really translate that on the score sheet as well. And that's just what sucks for me. But this game will be fun because you're going to see Luca and Booker go head to head on shooting, and then Luca and Chris Paul go head to head on passing. So, like, Luca is a completely versatile, great player. But like you mentioned, just he had a big night against the Raptors last night. They will be still at home, so they do have that rest factor. But I just don't think he'll have the same legs under him against a team like you mentioned it. The Suns. The Suns are not going to have it on the floor tonight. But JaVale McGee has been the best next man up for that team. And they already have a really good cast around people like Chris Paul and Booker with Mikal Bridges. And I really love Cameron Payne. I think Cameron Payne's a really good and just a very nice power to have off the bench who gives you that extra spark that you really need, especially when it comes to offense. And yeah, I just don't know if I trust Luca to be that guy again tonight. I think he could. I feel like he's the kind of guy that really can turn around and give you another 40 piece again the next night. But against a Suns team, I think would be harder to do. So I'm gonna go with the Suns just like you. But this is gonna be a really, really fun game.
Yeah, this is the game of the night. It really is. So it could go either way. But yeah, we got the Suns. And then the final game, only 3 games tonight. Again, it's going to be a short night in the NBA. Pacers, Warriors. Warriors, 11.5 point favorites. Pacers coming off that nice win against the Lakers, though.
I know. You know how I hate big spreads. You know how I hate big spreads. Pacers beat the Lakers last night, which is none of us saw it coming. We were all, blowing the Lakers and Stanley Johnson horn, and then out of nowhere, Pacers come in. But I think they did have last minute roster changes when Sabonis was able to enter as well as Levert, so that changed quite a bit of the game for them. And Warriors are a great team, and they're the red hot team, and they're the best team especially when they're playing at home and against. And I think we talked about the Pacers home road record last show as well, which was just abysmal. And then to do that with the Lakers and really kind of add that win column, which just looks really bad against the Lakers, is kind of just like, well, is this team, what is this team, what can they really do? So for tonight, I think just based off of how the Warriors have been playing, they did have a really big win against Detroit. but it's Detroit. It's not much to say about, the Warriors itself. And the two Splash Brothers are still figuring themselves out. You're still not going to have Andre Iguodala on the floor who can lead that anchor defense. So I think Warriors win, but I'm gonna give Pacers the edge here to cover as underdogs. What do you think?
Ooh, I like it. Yeah, I'm gonna go the other way. So we're gonna disagree again. I just don't like the spot for the Pacers. Second night of a back to back again, logging heavy minutes. Brogdon just came back too. So how is he gonna look? Sabonis did tweak his ankle in that fourth quarter. Is he gonna be 100% for this one? I mean, he carried the Pacers last night. And the Warriors are the Warriors. I mean, this is a safe team, I think, to bet on at home. I know they haven't looked like the Warriors to start the season, but I think Clay's coming along, and he had his best game coming since coming back in that last win against the Pistons, in which they did cover that 15.5 point spread. So I do like the Dubs here. I know, Iguodala is not going to be there. I don't think Green's going to be there, but I still think the Warriors will collectively be able to blow out the Pacers. This is not a good Pacers team. They're dealing with a fair share of problems. And I think let's not overanalyze that performance against the Lakers, because if there's one team where you want to get going again, it is against the Lakers. They're
Yeah.
going up against a completely different animal in this Warriors team. So the Pacers, we know it's only a matter of time until they rebuild, completely blow that thing up. What Sabonis is doing is just continuously adding value to his name in terms of a possible trade that could happen. But I think it's going to be a long night for the Pacers. Give me the Warriors. Sign me up 11.5. I think the Splash Brothers are going to have a big game. And I want to see Steph Curry break out. Let's go. Like, we haven't seen a classic Stephen Curry performance in a while now. And I think it's coming. I really think it is. And again, they're still trying to gel, like you mentioned. They haven't played together in 2 years. But I think them hitting that stride together is coming soon. And who knows, maybe tonight we do see the Splash Brothers of old come through, which would be pretty good for me in terms of covering this number.
Honestly, I do hope so. I'm just going off of my pattern last night when I picked the underdogs on a massive spread and they ended up winning the game. So
Yeah.
maybe this will be one of those. So we'll see what happens. But like Luca mentioned, this is a 3 game night tonight. We kept it very simple, very easy. Go over our bets, see how you feel, see what you think. Leave us comments, leave us suggestions, let us know how we're doing, and make it nice because we're working really hard here. But we'll see you again tomorrow. Thanks so much for your time. You know where to catch us at the Parlay as well as Parlay TV. And catch you later.